Hello and welcome back to the Bielsa Stand YouTube channel, and we've got a new series for you. It is that ex-Leeds United manager, and today we'll be on about Neil Warnock, the famous Neil Warnock. So let's quickly talk about his career, his playing career, his managerial career so far, and his time at Leeds United. So let's get straight into it. Regarding his playing career, he actually did play, believe it or not. He made overall 327 appearances over an 11-year playing career. He played for the likes of Burton Town, York City, Barnsley, Aldershot, Scunthorpe United, Hartlepool United, Rotherham United, Chesterfield, Crewe Alexandra, and then regarding his management career, he became manager of the likes of Burton Albion in 1981. Going back all those years ago, he also managed the likes in his early managerial career of Scarborough, a lovely seaside town in Yorkshire, Notts County. He also managed Torquay United, Huddersfield Town, Plymouth Argyle, Oldham, Bury, Sheffield United, Crystal Palace, QPR. He then managed Leeds United. Then after that, Crystal Palace, then QPR again, Rotherham United, Cardiff City, Middlesbrough, and Huddersfield Town. Recently, this year, he actually managed Huddersfield Town once again. So, he's managed a lot of teams, a lot of Yorkshire teams. He's actually a Sheffield-born man, so he was born in the city of Sheffield, a Yorkshire boy, and as I say, he managed a lot of teams. Let's quickly go over his Leeds United managerial career. So he actually came in on, when did he come in? From February the 18th 2012. So this was when Simon Grayson was sacked as manager, and after that, Ken Bates hired Neil Warnock. And actually, that season, we finished 14th. If you're not sure about the kits, the away kit was that black and yellow kit. And basically, the team had the likes of Andy Lonergan. We had the likes of Kaznobo, Alex Bruce, Andy O'Brien, Robbie Rogers, Michael Brown, Billy Paintner, Becchio, Lloyd Sam, Adam Clayton, Daniel Pugh. We had the likes of Tom Lees, Robert Snodgrass was captain, Danny Webber, Lee Bromby, David Summer, Charlie Taylor, Paul Robinson, and Ross McCormack. So that was the team. Lonergan was number one first. Then the next season, so as I say, he came in on February the 18th. He actually was manager for Leeds United for just over a year, because he was then sacked, I believe. He was sacked on April the 1st in 2013. Then Brian McDermott actually took charge after Neil Warnock. So he was the next manager after him. And in his second season, so obviously he finished that first season as manager, then going into the first proper season. So the second season, he had the likes of Paddy Kenny in net. He brought Paddy Kenny. We had Jason Pearce, Tom Lees, Lee Peter, A.D. White. We had Truth. We had Stephen Warnock. We had players like, again, still Charlie Taylor, McCormack, Sam Byram was here, Habib Habubo, David Norris, Michael Tong, Michael Brown, Luke Varney, Jamie Ashton. So that was the type of squad we had. And as I say, he got sacked. And the reason why he got sacked was because after a string of defeats, Leeds was sitting 5 points off the relegation zone, and they thought it was best to get him done. He actually signed a 1.5-year contract, so he was getting to the end of his contract when he got sacked. What else was there about him? The first season, so the season he got in charge after Grayson was sacked, Leeds finished 14th. And during the summer of 2012, he brought in several signings. The first home League Cup game was against Shrewsbury, while Leeds United won 4-0. And then they went on to beat Wolves in the opening game of the Championship. Wolves are now a Premier League team, but at the time they were in the Championship. So after Leeds United, he actually became Crystal Palace manager, then Rotherham and Cardiff. Obviously, there's that famous meme of him going like to the camera. He didn't manage. I mean, he got promoted with Cardiff. He didn't manage to stay in the league. They got relegated from the Prem in their first season. I think he was fairly close to staying up, but he got relegated. Then he joined Middlesbrough, and on April 2022 he announced his retirement from management after 42 years as a manager. However, he didn't keep to his word, did he? Because he joined Huddersfield Town on 13th of February 2023, returning to Huddersfield Town after 30 years of his initial appointment. And Huddersfield were in the depth of a relegation battle. However, they managed to keep him up. He stayed in the summer. He signed a 1-year contract. And on September the 18th, 2023, the club confirmed in a statement that Stoke would be his last game in charge of the club. And he actually drew that game. So yeah, he left Huddersfield Town. I don't think he was happy with the squad or the amount of players they brought in and all that kind of stuff. The transfers, I don't think he was particularly happy. So he left. I think Darren Moore is now manager of Huddersfield, and they're just above the relegation zone. So yeah, I mean, he obviously managed the likes of QPR in the Prem with Adel Taarabt. What a baller he was for like a year or so. Yeah, so he had a QPR team. He got sacked, obviously, from Tony Fernandez. I think they were also fighting relegation. He's managed the likes, as I say, of Sheffield United, Plymouth, and probably the biggest club of his career, Scarborough. He managed the likes of Scarborough. That was his peak managerial career. So yeah, I mean, that's a bit about Neil Warnock. What do you think of Neil Warnock's time of Leeds United manager? Do you think he was a good manager? How do you think he did? I think a lot of fans don't really rate him. I remember this. I remember getting Neil Warnock and I was excited because he obviously had a previous track record of getting promoted. He obviously managed QPR previously, managing them in the Premier League. So I thought, you know what, maybe he can push us up into that playoff position. It didn't work out. I think the fans really didn't buy into his style and all that kind of stuff. And unfortunately for him, he got sacked just over a year later, and it was probably the best choice for both parties because we weren't really doing well. But yeah, I mean, it was disappointing. I did have high hopes for him when he came in as manager. As I say, it didn't work out for either parties, either for Leeds United or himself. However, he did manage to still manage. And even though he's no longer manager of Huddersfield Town, he says he's still willing to become a manager once again. So will we see him against Leeds United at Ellen Road one day? Possibly. He is getting old, though. He's an old fella. He is currently 74 years old, but he'll probably still be managing for another 10 years, knowing him. So, yeah, that's a bit about Neil Warnock. Remember to like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you later.